Well, all morning we have been talking all about the holiday festivals kicking off this weekend, but this time of year, it can also really be just stressful and lonely for some people. So this morning we have Gabrielle Blickley who's joining us today. Thank you for getting up early. I know that's a big ask on Saturday. I just wanted to start off with what populations and communities are you the most worried about for this time of year?
Yeah, so this time of year, as we all know, it can be very cold. So the homeless population, and I also think about, those that have recently experienced losses and how difficult that season can be for them. There's a lot of isolating, a lot of grief, depression, and then seasonal depression is really common as well. And so it's a really interesting dichotomy between, the happy holiday season, but then all this sadness, but then also, wondering where's my next meal going to come from? What if a storm hits? Stuff like that.
I wonder when you were talking about somebody who's experienced loss, that it can be such a difficult time, especially if you're used to having that person around you during the holidays and you don't have that person anymore.
Absolutely. And I think that is figuring out, how do we memorialize them? How do we hold this sadness of them not being here, but also welcome in the joy that they used to bring to family gatherings, whether that's you share funny stories and memories about them, but then cry around the dinner table. I think what's important is naming it. It's normal to feel lonely. It's normal to feel sadness around the holidays and also feel lots of joy.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point, right? Because sometimes you head into like Thanksgiving and Christmas and you're like, every minute has to be so happy and perfect. And that's just not reality. That's just not the way it is.
And I always encourage people, slow down.
Yeah.
The holidays happen so quickly, they move by so fast, and sometimes you're at the end like, what happened? And so really taking that time to slow down, whether that's, setting boundaries of time commitments to certain gatherings or, even setting a budget early on and sticking within it. So you can help eliminate some of that stress along the way, but then also enjoy yourself in the moment.
What would you say are some of the symptoms of this that you really want to keep a close eye on?
That isolating, not being able to get out of bed, not being motivated to engage in those gatherings, not eating, things like that. I think a lot of the times we assume everyone's really happy, but reaching out and being honest with yourself and those around you, because I think what you'll find is that you're not alone.
Yeah. What would you say are maybe like a good starting point for folks to either maybe help themselves or help someone that they know?
Yeah, I always encourage therapy.
Yeah.
That's my heart. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love. Talking to a professional, but then first and foremost, talking with friends.
Sure.
And recognizing, is this something that, I just need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with someone, or do I need to dig deeper?
Yeah.
And, sometimes the warning signs of, ooh, this is more than just a conversation with a loved one, is, not being able to really process what you want to, or, crying a lot. Or once you say something, it brings up 10 times more feelings than you had before.
Right. Yeah.
So
my last question with you before we run out of time, though, is just, for those friends, like, what is a good way to start that conversation? That can be a little bit intimidating.
It can be.
Yeah.
A simple text.
Okay.
Hey, I'm thinking of you. I know you lost your dad this year. What's one of your favorite memories? Or, hey, I know you're from out of town. You want to come to my gathering? And then, if they're in a place where they want to come, they're willing to reach out, they're willing to come to your, celebration, they'll show up. Yeah. If not, keep reaching out to them, because that can be a really, really lonely time for them. And having that friend or that family member like, okay, someone's thinking of me.
Yeah. Well, that is really, really valuable insight. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.